Hey, what's up guys, June here. In today's video, we're going over the week of January 17th, 2022. This week finished up on plus 1.18 handles. Most of them were good trades, some ideas, perhaps no fills, and with one of them being needed up to be a tad higher, and it would have worked out pretty well. Anyways, let's get to the charts. First up, we have a good old idea or no fill in the MES. Over here, we have a downflow to the downside, and this is our confirmed swing, this blue leg right here. It went gap slide, and it tried to repeat the frequency but failed. So instead it expanded. This expansion's a little weird. We do see this throughout the next charts or throughout this week. So that's very interesting to know, because usually the expansion's a bit clearer or a bit more rhythmic. Here it's kind of up, down, kind of expanding swings, right? Where the consolidation or expansion phase is kind of like a cone, something like that. However, it decided to kind of build a shelf right here, boom, gap. So at that point there, the right side entry is on the table with a stop behind the pivot that said, okay, we're continuing, and just it didn't come back. In fact, the market did bounce off of this, what would this be? A lower medium line, and then continued along its path. So this was a good target. Unfortunately, the entry was not filled. Next up, we have the MES as well. Over here, we have a downflow. I did note, however, that this is already an expanded swing. So what do I mean? We have a confirmed swing right here. So the blues expanded and continue. So this is from yesterday's chart, right? So this is where it bounced off the lower medium line and just continued. I'm not expecting much continuation there. It did not happen. Instead, it continued forward. Okay, great. Now, at this point, I'm looking for a return to the value area. The value area is just the point of concentration. I'm looking at a downswing. Where did the sellers or buyers took over, and where is the most orders? So in this case, it was over here. I do note that there is a such thing as natural sellers. Now, what's natural sellers? Natural sellers is a clear distinction. So over here we have the backside retest. So think about the POC being the meat of the orders and the natural sellers or buyers being the noise. So it could happen that the rotation comes off the natural sellers or buyers. So keep that in mind. In this case, that's what happened. Went 1, 2, 3 reactions. At this point, the level is defined, and I considered this a wash. So it poked up, ripped back down, entered right here. Of course, the problem here is it didn't take out this low. However, I was leaning more towards this pivot creating the new high, being the distinction. So I'm like, did these sellers give up? Yes, they did. Made some new lows. Maybe this was, if it came back down to here, it would have been a bit nicer. The hell are they doing? It would be nicer if it came and broke it a bit more, but to me, this was more of a subtle swing kind of situation. And also we had something to break, something to fall into. Overall, I think it was fine. It was pretty nice to see this kind of wick comes back down. So for a second, it was working out, and then it got ripped. Oh well. Everything else I'm fine with. On to the next trade. Okay, so this one over here, we have a few ideas. So this is the MNQ. First one being this one. So this was a POC level, and I'm wondering, well, could this wash the POC? Is this just a wash? And then no, enter here. So this was the first missed trade. Target maybe upper medium line or to this kind of tri-zone right here. So unfortunately, I didn't capitalize on that one. And then there's this one. I was trying to read the market. Of course, there's this subtle swing, but with the expansion, I'm not too sure how to play it, the subtle swing. Because yeah, this is one move, but this as a one move, no. This is the one move. However, it's not pronounced. So I decided to, be careful. I was interested in perhaps entering here, because this is really where they flipped it. Unfortunately, there was no stop built in. Maybe the entry was there as well with a stop underneath. This one was pretty hard to say. Anyways, it went to the expected area, which would be, this is the POC. So this would be a tested POC. And there you go. Unfortunately, I didn't see it in real time. And nor do I think this trade is the best, in my opinion. Okay, this is the Russell. So very similar action. We have a POC trying to hold. It flips it, trying to enter on the secondary swing. So a double breakout. Unfortunately, it didn't come all the way back. I was looking at it as soon as it broke this high to come down here, kind of like kill zone area, stop underneath the entire structure. Of course, maybe underneath here, that's possible as well. However, I decided to just play it like that. This ended up going to target. However, it was a no-fill. Nothing can be done about this one. All right, so this is the MES. Very similar. This is where the expansion kind of threw me off. So there's kind of this initial thing, expand, continue. And of course, for this area, it did work. It did reach all the way up here, stop. Well, the stop would actually be a bit lower, but nevertheless, double breakout. This is very, could be a good trade, you know. Entry actually would be more along here, a bit lower. This is a bit too high, so somewhere there. The idea being, bam, we refresh sellers. Is it just a wash? No, poke, bam. Or double breakout, bam. So this one was definitely a mistrade. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, so this is the MES once again. This would be the next day. No, same day. This one was pretty nerve-wracking to take it. However, we do have a new entry type, or trade idea within context of a POC in the 20-minute. So past few weeks I've been exploring the expanded swing idea, where expanded swings that try to repeat often fail. So based on the failure of the expanded swing, go the opposite direction. So that's exactly what I did. Over here, we have a rhythm to the upside. It expands, tries to repeat the expanded swing, says no, return. You know, there's different variations of how it could return to the area, and you take the short. Could this mean I could take a short right here? For now, I'm saying no, because maybe that's front running the idea a bit too much. But after it really makes it distinct, okay, now we're going back down. That's how I declare the new swing. So in terms of management, this was certainly nerve-wracking, but it did work out. Now with the I call this the ESF trade, the expanded swing failure trade. Now, when we head over to the MNQ, I took a very similar trade, pretty much the same exact thing. However, the stop wasn't good enough. So we'll get there when we get there. Target, I was targeting down this press. I was looking to break these guys at least. And possibly even to play all the way down here. However, what I did not consider is a possible gap swap of a previous POC. So the previous POC was about right here. So if we go back, see this kind of press, arguably a double breakout that I missed as well, but whatever. There's kind of a POC right here. If I go up, that's where that is. At the moment, what I have been doing is just once a POC has been reached, delete it. Or, you know, if it continues, if I have something like this, okay, we can wash it, that's fine. But if it really goes on the backside, I'm looking for the value area based on this entire swing up right here, right? Not considering a backside retest. So what I'm doing going forward is playing off the possibility of a backside retest of a POC, right? Of older POCs, if it's higher than the one on the upswing. I should start taking the 20 minutes so I can explain this a bit better. But nevertheless, here, I'll just draw it out. So this was where the old POC was based on the previous. So gap swap, coming back to it, while the value area just based on this swing alone, it goes a bit lower, but based on this swing alone was right here. So keep that in mind. So when it comes to POC, In mind old POCs for gap swap ideas, in parentheses targets. So keep in mind old POCs for gap swap ideas, targets. If it's higher, or I'll just do in front, if it's in front of the most up to date POC, or the most recent swing, or most recent most recent value area. Damn, neighbors are loud today. Anyway, and I did decide to take the graceful exit, basically because it's already 4.25 handles into the trade. It's a good amount of stops, and that's something I'm working on, taking profits, not necessarily early, but when I can, not when I'm forced to. And this was a prime example of me saying, you know what, enough is enough. This was pretty nerve-wracking to hold through, and I'm working, and this happened. I'm like I'm looking, and it gave me ample enough time, and I got out seemingly at the last second before this happened. Now, I would have been fine, and I think this has actually continued forward, but the point is, perhaps target or take exit early, and insofar as the overall perception of this idea, maybe just look for previous POC levels, as there was one right here. And then, of course, I have my noise mechanism, right? So I take my stop halfway through, and it was right in front of it, so I couldn't take an exit right here according to my strategy, but I just wanted to take profits. That's it. Maybe I was breaking management a bit, but you know what, it is what it is. Onto this trade. All right, so this is a pretty good example of it, where this was the day or 2 days before, one of the two. This is a down leg, right? It's going right, January 19th. Yeah, this was the day before. So this is the MNQ. This is, it's going down, expansion, 2-wave pullback, nice and flowy. We have the definition, or where defined the 2-wave pullback. So right here, bounced up, swap, enter. Notice how there's not much spacing. Yeah, there's not much spacing right here. Look at that. Not much spacing relative to the gap swap, or the press swap. However, we did redefine buyers right here, and relative to that got zoomed. So that's the reason why I took this short. Stop behind the apps. Stop behind where the swap got confirmed. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. And it continued lower. Target right here. Arguably, management could have been better. So no matter what, my management could have been better. In terms of targets, I didn't have that mechanical setup like I do now, or for noise. So in this case, bringing the stop level down about halfway, it's right at target. Boom, profits right there, anywhere. So that's that. And it continued forward. So it did try briefly, and it did do this frequency. Right here, did that. And if we repeat it right here and right there. So possible graceful exit or second exit strategy there. However, I just decided not to do it and hold my water, and this was unfortunate. Got washed out, came back all the way here. Fine, fair enough. It is what it is. Next up, we have the MNQ. So again, very similar to the previous trade that I took. So here, arguably, I'm doubling down on the same idea, but they're different markets. And I got a high tick. So this is where I do note, like the ITE, the initial trade expansion idea, the expanded swing failure idea may need stops behind the entire swing. So like the IT idea, the ESF idea requires, or I'll just say may require stops behind entire swings, because it's a reversal idea. It's counter directional. So, double tops are not ideal, but I guess we can allow them to happen. Regardless, this went all the way down exactly to target, bounce, 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 and then continued forward. So this was a good target too. So very nice to see the targets are at least working out at the very least. Over here we have the Russell. Is this Russell? Oh, it's not the Russell. This is the MES. All right, I'm gonna have to rename that. All right, what's happening? Well, we have a consolidation period, kind of something. I saw this as a breakout range, but it sloped and unfortunately did not work out. In fact, did it continue from here? I don't think so. No, it rotated back up. So the idea behind this one, we're going, and we'll break out. I was placing a short here, except when I was about to drag down my order, this bar printed pretty fast, and I don't like dropping my orders on exactly the market. It's not really my style. Anyways, decided to play this one. Perhaps there can be argument said that if it doesn't zoom, it doesn't go from here, well, you might want to just pull the trade right away. However, I decided to play it, and it simply didn't work out. Nothing can be done or said about that. And the stop was a bit bigger than, let's say, originally intended. However, my contract size reflected that. So instead of being a 3 contract load with a stop behind here, it's a 2 contract load. So the risk is still the same, and the RVR is still, there's still a lot of it. Anyway, didn't work out. Oh yeah, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to find that. Right, and yeah. Oh yes. I might not have it. Yeah. So what this trade was for the Russell, it was a similar idea, except for it was more horizontally defined, and it was breakout. I got into the profits, and it didn't go to target. I got out break even. So for people to, I'll post that in the pictures in the website. So if people want to refer to that, they can. So I'll have to go get that after the fact. All right, over here we have the MNQ. So what ended up happening? Okay, so this is interesting actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to explain this on the 20-minute chart, but all right, I'm gonna start taking pictures of 20-minute charts now, because that needs the context for me to appropriately explain the situation. Anyways, what ended up happening, I saw this as a POC. Will this POC hold? Or well, I saw it as a POC and a range. So this was breakout range, took it, failed, came here, poke it, failed again. So I decided, okay, shorts are on the table. That did not work out and continued lower. All right, so the really, it's pretty simple, really. We have last swing broke, right side entry, bing, bang, boom. I want to take maybe a left side. However, I couldn't get a stop behind here. So right side was fine. In terms of everything, I think it was okay. The reason why I didn't put my stop behind here, the pivot was so close. Plus, I can only afford a 1 contract load, even if the stop was behind here. So I just bought the entire structure, and with a target up to this bigger press, double the range, second time's the charm, I guess, up there. This is just some practice for range. So this was definitely a range, right? Bam, ranging, comes, pops, boom. This is a 1/3 increase of the swing. So I take this leg, add 1/3 to it. That's where the stop is, entry, and it goes to target. I'm just exploring this, not necessarily taking these trades as of yet. All right, so let's go on the actual trade and what happened. So this is the MNQ, right? We have a POC there, comes out, strong breakout, boom, 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 boom. We have some sort of, one line balance, comes some break, some fall into, right side entry, somewhat of a wash, had everything going for it. It was looking real good, and it just simply said no. However, on the back side of this was a possible trade. Now for me, I didn't declare this as a possible short. I still decided the momentum or the direction was to the upside based on the break of this range. However, the important thing to note is the fact that, look, we have breakout, we had a right side entry, and it failed. So the other direction is still there. Now, why exactly am I declaring this as a good possible short and not necessarily a deeper pullback for the breakout range idea? Well, it kind of goes back to this previous idea of the swap right here, where we have the possible breakout. So if it wanted to go up, it was right here. Buyers showed up, right? Whoever bought them up here showed again, or maybe there's new people, whatever, they got zoomed. So not necessarily I have to get a big zoom out of it, but there were buyers that lost money. Therefore, I can take the backside test without having an entire big, nice, flowy swap of this press. So going back to here, this would be the alternative idea. So this would be building upon the breakout range. Now, these deeper pullbacks can happen, but I think they can happen in the context that it comes back to here, then goes. Not that it comes back here, buyers do show up for the possible expansion to the upside, but instead they fail. So if we do have a strong potential move to the upside and that does not work, and then it's kind of a larger wash. Because to me, this is still a breakout. It's not a wash. So even if it pops back in here, would I call this a wash? No, I would call it more of a failed breakout range. So call it, if the breakout range idea presents itself and fails, considered continuing the direction or previous direction. Not a wash, but the market rejecting your idea. A valid. Yeah. So it's not really a wash, because again, the wash to me is really right here at the very most, right? If you take this proportionality, it's within 1/3 of the range size, I'd say is a wash, but right here, no. To me, this is a strong breakout. The breakout range trade just simply failed. You could take the backside retest, right? I could take even this guy if I really wanted to, but I like taking this guy. This guy really achieved, arguably this guy achieved relative to the downswing, but something like that. Boom. And you have your entry on the backside here. Stop wise, I want to say this because this is really the pivot where it said no. So something like that. You could buy the entire thing, but that seems a little obsessive. So something like that is fine. Conservatively, we have a test right here. And if we really want to go all the way down here. Now the question is, which one do we choose and do we use this POC? because this POC right here was based on a previous POC. So I had a swing, right, on the 20-minute, and there was two potential areas or value areas. One of them already got tested and continued and then goes backside. So the question is, are value areas, one value area per area or per swing? I'll just do per 20-minute swing question mark. So that's the open-ended question, as well as do we say all other things, all else being equal, if the swings get tested or the POCs get tested and it breaks it. It's hard to explain here. Let me see if I can just draw it out. So we had a swing like kind of like this, right? Went like that. And then it came back down. There was a value area here. I know it doesn't seem like there's a value area. I'm just drawing it. Then there was another potential value area right here. See, it already came back to test it. And then it broke. So that's where we were. So I was wondering, well, is this the value area too? Maybe not. So we'll marinate on that. And I'm not sure where that's going to go, but anyway. Okay, so right here we also had a no fill. So this is the MNQ, similar to the previous trades at the beginning of the video. Bam, zoom. Is this just a wash? See how it's so small relative? It's not a strong break. At this point, it's a strong break, but I was still looking for a little cheap little entry right here, a subtle swing entry or a press, right? Boom, double breakout. Did not work, did not get filled. And we're back at the beginning. Right, guys, so what have we learned or what have we took note of? So for the ESF idea, like the ITE idea, swings, the stops have to be behind the swings. For the POCs, maybe considered a gap swap based on old POCs for targets or maybe for ideas. We'll see going forward exactly how that works. For the breakout range idea, if the breakout range idea presents itself, valid entry and fails, consider going the opposite direction. Not necessarily a wash, but just a failure of the breakout range idea. And the open-ended question is there only one value area per 20-minute swing? So if we measure the volume profile, do we only go 1? Do we go 2? What happens if it's a backside retest and it's already confirmed and it continues higher? Then it's coming back to it and just blows right past it. That's the question. We don't know. So next week, I'll go ahead and take pictures of the volume profile. So that way it's a bit clearer, because I'm going kind of in abstract speech here and just trying to draw it out, it doesn't really help anybody. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Till next time, adios.